Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman, Alfred.
I'm Batman.
I am Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Greetings, Bat Family. Welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Make sure you do visit our website, holybatcast.com. It is your one-stop shop for all things Holy BatCast. But you can also find us all over the damn internet. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. You will find us, because like Tigger, we're the only one. You can also find us on Patreon. So if you love the show, you want to help support the show in a more official way, you can do that through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, huge thank you to everybody who does do that. We know you don't have to. The show is still free, but you do it anyway because you care and because you're awesome. So big shout out to our patrons. And we've got a new patron, so I got to give a private shout out, not private, public, but a individual shout out for our newest patron. Oh man, this is a name. Sriraj Paleri. Yeah, let's go with that. Sriraj Paleri, our newest patron. Thank you so much, Mr. Paleri, or Miss. Paleri is easier than Sriraj. But anyway, thank you so much. Again, we really do appreciate it. It makes our lives so much easier, and it makes it so much easier to keep this show rolling. So again, if you want to do that, patreon.com/holybatcast. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network, so if you can't get enough nerdy talk about mostly movies, you can check out all the shows that are part of the network at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm your host, Andy DiGenova. Hello. If you'd like to follow me, you can do that on Twitter or on Instagram. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. Now, on this episode number 201, we're going to be looking at the brand new trailer for Shazam, which is coming our way in just about a month. Exactly a month, maybe? Anyway, joining me is the Shazam to my Billy Batson. It's Jamie Drewley. Hey, Jamie.
Does that mean I have to buy the beer?
It does, but it also means you're big and strong.
Well, okay, I'll take it.
How you doing, man? Happy 201.
Oh, man, it's like starting all over again. It's like when the old five-digit odometers in a car rolled over to all zeros again, and you're just like, yep, it's like brand new again, starting all over.
Yeah, we're refreshed and ready to go. We got a lot of great feedback on episode 200, so thank you to everybody who did download it and who enjoyed it and sent us a nice message about it. It was really fun to do, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I mean, I caught a lot of feedback on my feed as well as yours over there. So to everybody that reached out and sent congratulations, thanks. From the bottom of my heart, it means a lot seeing that outpouring of support after doing 200 episodes. And, gosh, this is the 5th year we've done it. It's humbling. It really is. So thank you to everybody that reached out on that.
For sure. But we can't live in the past. We got to move forward. Well, we'll live in the past a little bit once we get to the Wayne Manor Mailbox, because most of the messages are about episode 200, but we'll get there. In the meantime, we got something else to talk about. We're talking about Shazam, because we are just a month away from our next big DC film. Time flies.
You can't see it through the microphone, but I have a big smile on my face.
Me too. It is coming right up. I can't wait. So, we, of course, got the Comic-Con extended trailer, which then became the theatrical trailer. A few weeks ago, a month ago maybe, we got that minute-long sneak peek TV spot. Was that about a month, I think? And we thought for sure that TV spot was like, oh, we're going to get the trailer in the next day or two. And then they were like, no, just wait. And so finally, today, we did get the second full-length theatrical trailer. I think there are reasons for that, which we will talk about. But it is out. They did make us wait for it, but it is here. And now we're going to let you know how we feel. So, Jamie, we got trailer 2 officially of Shazam. Because, again, that sneak peek, I don't know what you call that. 0.5?
Sure,
1.5. So we had trailer 1, 1.5. This is 2.
We got the mid-trailer credit sequence thing. Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, how'd you like this newest, maybe last trailer? We'll see for Shazam.
I hope it's the last trailer. I'm gonna get my negative right out of the way first. because I don't want to dwell on negative because I really did enjoy this trailer. But right now I'm going to say I hate Eminem. So hearing that song in there is just, ugh. But past that, I have no complaints at all about this trailer.
Nice.
It made me laugh. It got me excited. It had a moment or two where, I kind of wanted to put my hand up in the air and be like, yes. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I like the tone. I mean, it's a little lighter than maybe what my general personal preference would be, but I see nothing that gives me pause or makes me think to myself that they're not doing this character what I think is the right way. I'm not like a mega fan of Shazam. I'm just now starting to delve into the John's New 52 run since I've heard that this movie pulls heavily from that. I just got the trade paperback in the mail about 3 days ago, and I'm of course reading John's current Shazam book in DC publication, which I'm enjoying so far. The third issue just came out about 5 days ago, and I haven't even read it yet because I'm behind on my stack. But I, as far as I can tell, as far as what I know about Shazam or Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him, I think it's right. I think they're doing the tone right. I think they're handling it the way that it should be handled, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the whole package looks like once it gets up on the screen. For
sure. A couple things. Number one, I like Eminem. I thought it was an interesting choice to put it in, but here's what I loved about this is the song, I think it's fun. They're obviously going for a very fun, light tone with this trailer. That's how they're marketing it. I mean, they are marketing this movie as a superhero movie for the whole family. And I think that's smart. I think that makes perfect sense because we've talked about some previous superhero movies where they're finding a niche that hasn't been filled yet. We talked a lot about Aquaman in the past few months and how it still gave you something you had never really seen before. You could say the same about Black Panther, gave you a superhero movie that was unlike what you'd really seen before. And these movies have succeeded because they're finding a new approach and finding a little corner of the superhero world that is yet to be explored. And I think Shazam's doing the same in finding a much more kid focused without being too kiddie, without it being a kid's movie, but a very kid friendly, lighter touch of a superhero movie. So I think that it's really unique in that way, and that's how they're marketing it. And I think that's smart because kids are going to be out of school for spring break, and this seems like a safe, fun time for the parents to take the kids to that the parents are going to probably enjoy too, instead of dragging them to the latest animated movies where the parents just have to suffer through. Mm-hmm. This is something I think is for the whole family, which is really great. Anyway, point is, the song I think just adds to that tone of hey, this is a good time.
If I'm being legit honest about it, the song works for what they're doing.
Right, of course.
Obviously, the marketing has been a big deal about just say his name or whatever that tagline's been. So it fits. Just me, I don't like Eminem. So
no, that's I get it. But here's what I thought was cool was that Eminem tweeted out the trailer himself, which I think is crazy because it's not like he wrote the song for this movie, but because they used his song, he tweeted it out, which I thought that was kind of cool. I have conflicted emotions about Eminem, but generally I like a lot of his music, so take that as you will. But I just thought it was fun that he actually seems to be excited, or maybe that was part of the deal. I have no idea, but for whatever reason, he was promoting it himself, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, I think that going back to what I was talking about before, I think the strength of the trailer and the strength of the approach of this film is it's another superhero movie, but it's a superhero movie that sets itself apart by offering something different. And I think that is what it has going for it, because I can't imagine any kid watching this and then not going, oh my God, I wish I would run into the wizard. I wish the wizard would make me Shazam. This is total kid wish fulfillment in the best possible way. So I just imagine every kid in the world being fantasizing about becoming Shazam.
I'm 44 and I'm kind of thinking that. So.
Well, exactly. I mean, we're just big kids, let's be honest. But that's unique to the superhero genre. I mean, of course, every kid is oh, I want to be Batman, I want to be Spider-Man, I want to be whoever. But this is done in a very accessible way. They know what they're making and they know what they're marketing, and I think it's smart.
I fully agree.
So about the trailer itself, when it started, I do think that it's funny, a month ago when we got that little minute-long sneak peek, I think that was a double-edged sword. It was great because it was like gave us a little something to dive into and to continue to be excited about this movie. But then it made this trailer a little bit anticlimactic because a bunch of the gags from that sneak peek are in this trailer, which is to be expected. And I think it wouldn't have mattered as much if it had come just one after the other. But because we had to wait an extra month or so for this trailer, and then we saw some of that stuff that we had already seen in the sneak peek, you're like, oh, well, I've already seen that before. I've already seen that before. And so I've seen a little bit of that out there of people being not disappointed with the trailer, but just going, oh, like a lot of it is footage I've already seen.
I had no issue with it.
I didn't either. It's an observation. And when it first started, I did think the same. I went, oh yeah, of course. I've seen this. I've seen a version of this scene. I've already seen that amazing shot of him jumping off the roof and yelling Shazam, and transforming and flying away, which is just a great superhero money shot. I mean, we talked about it in the sneak peek, but we already saw it. And then here is where they kick off the trailer. I do think it's amusing how they edit it here, where because it goes from, hey, say my name and my powers will be yours, or whatever the line is, and it cuts to him jumping off the roof and saying Shazam, it implies that that's the first time he's saying it. And it's like, well, he better hope that it's real. Because otherwise, which I know just because I've seen movies, is I'm sure that's leading into towards the end of the film. He's already done it by that point. But it's just funny the way this trailer is cut. It makes it look like, oh, he went home and then he was going to try it, and he decided to try it in a death-defying way.
I mean, we know how trailers do things. It's rare that things go in sequential order and anything like that. I'm not trying to make any kind of prediction here because I don't know, but I won't be the least bit surprised if that's basically the closing shot of the movie.
I mean, it's certainly possible. I'd be surprised if it was the closing shot. I think that it is, my guess is it's the transformation that leads to the final battle.
Okay.
It's like, where the chips are down and he's about to go face the big bad one last time, and that's going to take us into Act 3. It just seems like a good climactic Shazam moment that is going to then launch us into a big finale.
I'm good either way. I'm just saying it kind of has that... these movies have a tendency of closing out on like one shot of a superhero flying into action or something like that. So, I mean, it just kind of feels like what we've seen before, like with Wonder Woman or Man of Steel or what have you. So,
right. No, and I mean, it could be
actually,
multiple
Man of Steel
points.
didn't have that, did they?
No, he just had that dreamy smile. Thanks, Lois. But anyway, we did get, quite a few beats that we had seen in the previous two trailers, but there's plenty of new stuff here. And I think that what I love about the trailer is what some people aren't loving about the trailer is that it's still showing a lot of restraint. It's still selling what you already know about the movie. It's showing you some new bits, but they're very much in line with what you've already seen. I feel like they're not giving a lot away, which I love. But again, that is also a double-edged sword because then you get people being like, oh, I wanted more. And so I don't know if you saw, but David Sandberg, the director, who I love more every day, someone said something to him about that, about like, hey, like, I've already seen a lot of this stuff. And he tweeted something, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have it in front of me, but something to the effect of, I'd rather have that complaint than giving away the entire movie. #Doomsday.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
And I was like, good for you. Hell yeah. I mean, exactly. Like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That's the problem. You hold too much back. People are like, I want more. You show too much. Oh, I saw the whole movie. So I would much rather they err on this side of holding stuff back, because there is stuff out there, and I will leave it vague, but specifically in merchandise that we have seen over the past maybe month or so, that leads me to believe that there's more surprises to be had in this film. Of course, it could just be merchandise, because we've certainly seen that before too, where merchandise is just merchandise and it's not in the movie at all. But
still waiting on that Lex power suit.
Yeah, I know. But the things that I saw for Shazam leads me to believe at least some of it's in the movie, and none of it can be found in this trailer, which I love. That's great. Good. Keep those really fun surprises for when I sit down in the theater. And here's what concerns me, though, is we talked about, I mentioned, oh, maybe the last trailer, and you said, well, I hope it's the last trailer. That leads us to, we could end up in a BVS situation where if in the next 2 weeks, because they released this trailer so that everybody going to see Captain Marvel this weekend will see this trailer first. It was a very intentional move. I get it. I respect it. I understand why they did it. A shitload of people are going to go see Captain Marvel this weekend, and they should all see a Shazam trailer, so in a month, they're ready for the next big superhero movie. I get it. Makes sense. In a couple of weeks, though, if tracking isn't what they want it to be, I do wonder if they've got a more spoilery trailer in their back pocket.
I hope not. And again, speaking from the perspective of the circles that I roll in, I don't see a lot of. In fact, I don't think I've seen a single negative about this trailer. I've seen a couple people on my feed, most notably Brent Clark, is not going to watch the trailer because he doesn't want to be spoiled or anything like that. I get that. I dig it. Fine. If he can avoid it and he has that willpower, more power to him.
I respect that, but I think in this case, it's not a problem.
No, it's not. But I get it. I've had that.
No,
that
it's not.
No,
Jamie. Brent is watching this trailer. We're going to find him. We're going to tie him to a chair, and he's watching the damn thing.
Do the Clockwork Orange on him?
Yes, but with no eye drops.
Okay.
Let him crust over.
But I've seen a little bit of that sentiment. Mostly what I've seen is positive feedback. There's a guy in a geek group that I'm a member of that is a huge Shazam fan. It's like his favorite character. And he's just been drooling on every bit of marketing that they've thrown out, and he's head over heels in love with this trailer. So, that's obviously a good sign. Basically what I'm getting at, I have seen pretty much nothing but positive feedback. I haven't seen anybody, fight back about the humor or not showing enough. I really haven't seen a lot of that, but again, I haven't spent a lot of time on social media today either, so there is that. But
yeah, if you didn't check Twitter, you're probably good. And again, most of what I saw was super positive. I saw I did see a little bit of like, oh, you're not showing me enough, a little bit of that, and a little bit about the effects, which I don't understand at all because I think the effects look great. So, but that's, and again, that was the minority. Mostly I saw positive because it just looks like a good time. Zachary Levi, I think, is killing it in the title role. I think the kid playing Freddy is awesome as well. I've said that in the past. We get a little bit more Mark Strong as Dr. Sivana here. He looks appropriately creepy and intimidating, and getting a little of his interaction with Billy. I mean, he lays Billy out at a certain point, which is so he's got his own thing going on. So we get a little bit more of everything, but it's all a little bit more of everything that we had already seen.
Right. Which I think we had that with like the final Wonder Woman trailer, was it? I can't remember now. I'm too old to remember this crap.
I know.
Anyway, that seems to be the post BVS trend, is even the trailers afterwards. Now, Wonder Woman, I think, was the last one that gave me maybe just a little bit more than what I would have preferred, but I don't feel like, I mean, God forbid I say it out loud, right? I don't feel like Justice League did that. I don't feel like Aquaman did that, and I'm hoping that the trend continues here with Shazam. And the tweet that I saw, was it was a couple days ago. It was Zachary Levi replying to somebody. They were basically saying that, this thing looks like a joke fest, and it's slapstick humor or whatever else. And he indicated that, there's definitely moments of gravitas, and of course there's humor in it, but there's serious moments that are going to be shown too. And the trailers aren't leaning on that, obviously, which is fine, but there's clearly more to this movie than what we've seen so far, and I appreciate that, and I hope that marketing trend continues going forward. And by God, I hope you're wrong about tracking and triggering another, panic trailer or whatever you want to call it, because I really don't think that's necessary. I think they're selling tickets with these trailers and clips that they've shown so far.
I agree, and I think that this trailer is enough to get people excited and get people interested and to get people to buy a ticket. I just feel like with Wonder Woman, we're like, okay, they're done now, and then we got one more trailer. with BVS, we were like, they're done now, and we got one more trailer. And then with even Aquaman, we thought they were done, and we got one more trailer. So, take that as you will.
Why do you have to be the killer of dreams?
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Like, this is enough. But,
And
are
this would
tickets
be
on sale yet? Do we know?
If they are, I have not gotten my Fandango fan alert yet.
Because usually the final trailer drops when tickets go on sale. I feel like that's what Aquaman did.
The Aquaman tickets went on sale like a month out, though, didn't they?
No, because remember, like, they did the extended trailer, the extended Comic-Con reel like a month out, and we're like, oh, surely they're done. And then like 2 weeks later, there was that one last trailer when tickets went on sale.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
The timing may be off. It might not have been a month. It might have been 6 weeks and then 3 weeks. I don't know. But that was certainly the sequence of events.
But at least in the case of Aquaman, we can say without reservation that even that last trailer that was released did not give away too much.
Right.
So if they feel so compelled to do it, and if they have this thing ready to rock, so be it. I'll watch it, and hopefully it just follows that pattern versus previous patterns.
It will, and it's not the end of the world. I think I think it'll do us all good to loosen up a bit on that kind of stuff.
Now, do we know what the budget is on this? If we do, I forgot what it is.
It's 90.
I mean, a $90 million movie. I mean, they don't really need to do another trailer. They're probably going to recoup their money, globally speaking, probably the first 3-4 days, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, reportedly the budget's $90 million, which is great, super reasonable, and it looks great for being $90 million. Well done. And the initial tracking, I think, was between 40 and 45 million for the opening weekend. And so if they just bump that up to around 50, like, they're good. They're in good shape.
What did Aquaman open at? 71?
72.5.
Okay. So, yeah. This thing's roughly half the budget of Aquaman. If it comes, 60, 70% of what Aquaman's opening weekend did and then has any kind of legs to it, K-bar the door, as my father would say.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is they spent smartly. The movie doesn't look like it suffered for it. And so they don't have to expect a $100 million opening weekend. They're in good shape regardless. So even if it opened at 45, which is, again, I think what the tracking is, they're still in pretty good shape. That's what Ready Player One opened with, and Ready Player One cost twice this. So, they're in a very good place to be financially successful with this film, and it looks great, which is the important thing. And again, I think that it's going to appeal to families on spring break, and I think that is going to work in its favor come April.
I think so.
So there's more funny stuff in here. We got a little rehash of the "I'd like to buy some of your finest beer, please." Now,
still funny, by the way.
Oh, I love it. He's great in that moment. I love the girl working the counter. But when we saw that a month ago with the sneak peek, when he walked away, did we see Freddy standing there just like staring?
I think they just, as my recollection goes, and I'm obviously not the greatest memory person in the world, as my recollection goes, they just kind of showed him point and start to walk away. They didn't show the full, like they didn't show the last second or two of that.
Okay, because just seeing Freddy right behind him made me laugh too. So, yeah, that cracked me up. A little bit more of like the figuring out of the powers. And again, I love that Freddy is a fanboy. Someone noticed that he's wearing a Wonder Woman shirt at a certain point. So I think that throughout the movie, he's going to wear every single big DC hero's garb at a certain point. But just the way he's like, electricity manipulation. He's such a nerd. Like that's exactly the kind of nerdy thing I would have said when I was 12 years old and obsessed with.
Oh, I mean, even the I don't know if it's like geek thing, gamer thing, both what it is, but like, when he says bullet immunity.
Yes. Instead of just saying bulletproof.
Bulletproof, yeah. So he's definitely got a different thought process than your common average everyday kid or whatnot. Or maybe he doesn't. That's why he talks like that. I don't know. I'm out of touch. I'm old.
No, I think it's definitely the more nerdy way of saying those things, which I appreciate and I like. He's one of us. We get to see a little bit of super speed here more than once. And that's what I saw some people throwing shade at, was how the super speed looked. I think it looks cool. Like, it's a different approach to super speed, but it's just a gold streak. I dig it.
People were mad about Flash and Justice League, and now they're mad about this. I mean, okay, whatever. I think it looked fine. I got
me
no
too.
complaints.
I dug it. And we now know that the reason that we aren't calling him Captain Marvel is because his name is Captain Sparklefingers.
Of course it is.
So, mystery solved. I wish they would just change the name of the movie to that.
That wasn't one that landed really strong with me. I mean, I don't have any real issue with it per se, but
no, it's Zachary Levi's reaction that sells it, of him, like, he's trying to be cool for the gal, and his best friend embarrassing him in front of him. I think that's what sells it. I dig that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that works. Yeah.
And again, Sylvana, like, completely laying out Shazam.
That's a hell of a left that boy's got.
Yep. So I like I want to know what leads him to say, so you're like a bad guy, huh?
Well, that apparently, as far as I can piece together, happens right after he catches the bus.
Oh.
Because in the background, as he's saying that, is the bus with kind of the front end bashed up a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. But
and I'm sorry I didn't have enough time to watch this thing and break it down to really get, frame by frame on it or anything, but I did happen to notice that the last time I watched it, is that bus in the background, is that portion
kind
of the conversation.
same scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow it's all connected. Makes sense. And then later on, like, Sylvana obviously figures out that Shazam is a kid, because he says it himself. He's like, how old are you? He says, what does he say? I'm nearly 15 basically 15. The other thing is
that would basically be something. I mean, Sylvana obviously knows how this whole thing works anyway, but that would probably be something that he could deduce for himself just by the way he's talking, acting, things like that. So
right.
I mean, that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah, and we get a little bit of the Shazamly here. And I think this is the part of the movie that we still really are waiting to see. We're waiting to meet the rest of the foster kids and see their relationship with Billy and with Freddy. We just get a glimpse of it here, but the second time we see the super speed, he saves someone. I think he saves one of the other foster kids, and then you hear her say, "Oh, you're him, aren't you? You're the hero." So, them kind of discovering Billy's secret. So, more on that, but it does seem like that the crew of the foster kids, I did read the Shazam New 52, I'm not reading the current book, but these kids are like right off the page of the New 52 version.
Okay.
You haven't started it yet? It just came?
I haven't. I just got it out of the mailbox a few days ago. It just came into, actually not the mailbox, I got that at the shop, never mind. I pre-ordered it at the shop, so that would have been last Wednesday I picked that up. No, Wednesday's when it came out. It would have been Friday when I picked it up. I'm sorry.
Cool. Well, it's a good read, but you should be reading it just in December because it's a Christmas book.
Oh, well, I'd like to read it before the movie, so unless I hold off on the movie for 8 months, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Or you could just see the movie and see it all for the first time.
It's true. I could do that, couldn't I?
You could.
Not like I don't have other things to read in the meantime.
Right. We obviously, we've seen glimpses of it in the previous trailers and stuff, but we get some sort of big action scene in I think it's a Christmas festival of some sort, or Christmas carnival. And the important thing is now it's confirmed Batman is in the movie.
That is true. He is indeed.
Batman makes a cameo, and I think it's probably some of his best work.
That is unfortunately, I had like an Andy moment with that. And it's not like I can say I got spoiled by something that was in a trailer necessarily, but I would have liked to have seen that fresh. But there were 2 comments on the link that was posted in the Real Fans group for the trailer, which is where I first saw this because I was busy as hell at work today and I didn't have time to pay attention to it anywhere else. I just came into the group and there it was. And somebody had that line about get him Batman in there, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, really?
Oh.
And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. It looks like this like fight somehow goes into a toy store, which is great for a Christmas movie. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the Christmas vibes I'm getting from this. And yeah, just this huge wall of DC merchandise, DC superhero merchandise, and yeah, him whipping that giant action figure of get him Batman. Oh man, it worked for me. It's hilarious, and I think that's
notice that as soon as he picks it up, he says, "I'm Batman." Right?
Yes,
that's fantastic.
And so like a year ago. Maybe, I mean, it was a long time, maybe not quite a year, but 9 months or something. But like Zachary Levi posted a picture of that Batman figure at like a toy store or a Target or something, and he mentioned that it was Batman cameo in Shazam or something, and everybody was like, oh, is he being funny? Is he making a joke? What is he saying? And then he literally meant that specific action figure is in the movie, which is hysterical.
I agree.
So yeah, I loved Get Him Batman. It makes me happy. I think all the flying stuff looks great in this. Again, like for $90 million, I think all the effects, all the superpowers is all looking really good.
I couldn't agree more. I see nothing to complain. I mean, again, I'm trying not to complain about special effects anyway because of, reasons that we've mentioned numerous times already. I don't need to go into again. But I wouldn't see anything here to complain about even if I was trying to be critical of it, honestly.
No, me either. I mean, it all looks really good. And like the flying stuff is really awesome. And I did wonder, especially from that first trailer where we didn't get to see him fly, I was like, oh, are they holding it back because of the budget? But doesn't seem to be the case, at least not in what we're seeing now. They're letting Shazam do all of his stuff. And then you see him get a little crazy with his electricity. And he blows out the tire on that bus. And then it comes off the bridge. He catches the bus, and I think it's another great gag where he's like, "Oh, did you see what I did?" And he goes, "Yeah, you blew out the bus and almost killed everyone." He goes, "Yeah, and then I caught it." So, yeah, that was awesome. And
that's a good reaction there. I do have to. I mean, if I'm getting nitpicky, and I don't want to, but I'll just mention it because I know somebody out there is saying it or thinking it right now. Even if he catches that bus, there's going to be serious injuries and or deaths involved because, these people are just flying around inside of the bus as it's falling off the bridge. And then he catches it, so, they hit him instead of hitting the pavement. I mean, I don't know.
Don't let physics factor into any superhero movie. Don't. Because any superhero movie, you start thinking about actual physics, everybody's dead.
Yeah. So again, very
like Home Alone. Everybody's dead. Those wet bandits, they're dead. Dead.
True. Very true. I would have died when somebody put a spider on my face, but that's just me.
And then I do know that you liked the little final moment in this trailer because
oh my god, I was laughing about that for a good 3 or 4 minutes after I saw it. I was just sitting there giggling to myself because I don't know why. I don't even have an explanation why I found it so funny, but I did find it funny, and it's great. And I watched the trailer 3 times, and it was funny each of the 3 times I watched it. I laughed out loud all 3 times I watched it, even though it's funny. I don't care what anybody says. It's funny.
Well, so this was my Batman moment because this got spoiled for me. Somehow this little piece of footage of him trying to leap a tall building in a single bound and failing, somehow this bit of footage got out yesterday. And a bunch of people were sharing it on Twitter. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then it was in the trailer. So I don't know why it was out yesterday, but it was just that moment of him jumping and crashing into the building and going, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
I think that's great. And I'm glad I didn't see that yesterday. So
yeah, no, it's a great gag. And again, like they're having so much fun playing with the superhero tropes, but like still being a superhero movie. You know, there's a fine line where it's not a spoof of a superhero movie. It's still a superhero movie, but it's a superhero movie in which the cliches about superheroes already exist.
Right, because it's a superhero movie that exists within a superhero universe, and people knowing and acknowledging who and what these superheroes are and what they do and everything.
Yeah. So
that actually might be the part of the movie that I'm looking forward to the most as far as how it's approached. And clearly we know that Freddy, or whatever his buddy's name is hip deep into the culture, and I just want to see how they expand on that as the movie progresses. You know what I'm saying? I just cannot wait for that. For me, for all the things that I want to see in this film, that is actually my most anticipated element of seeing what really gets addressed when they get on screen.
For sure. Sweet. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good trailer, lots of good stuff. Starting with, and the other thing I noticed is how they start with the Shazam meeting the Wizard Shazam at the beginning again, because I do think that they are marketing this movie as if people don't know who Shazam is, which is smart because you can't assume that people know who Shazam is. And so I do think just the very beginning of the trailer, having Billy meeting with the wizard, learning to say the name or say the word, is important, and they're marketing it as if, for the general audience, which I think is, again, a really smart way to go.
Oh, that was another thing I kind of got a chuckle out of, is like, he's telling him to say his name. He's like, what is it? And he's like, Shazam, and he laughs at him. He's like, say it. He's like, okay. That was kind of funny to me too.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because they started the trailer in a very like dramatic fashion with dramatic music and the wizard voiceover until he says Shazam, and then it's not quite the record scratch moment, but it almost is, where it's just the silence and you hear Billy go, seriously? And then it's off to the races with just having fun.
Right. And to address the idea that maybe this is too much rehash of what we've seen in the 1 minute trailer or whatever you want to call it that happened weeks or month or whatever it was ago, keep in mind that general audience people, for the most part, didn't see that. Like, if you're not following the Shazam account on Twitter or rolling with these geek sites and pages, you never saw that. So this stuff would be completely fresh to a general movie-going audience, such as the one that's going to see it sitting in front of Captain Marvel this week. So I ain't even mad at the approach. I ain't even mad at it.
No, that makes sense. That's true too. And again, if they did see it, they're seeing like the shortened version maybe as TV spots, and again,
right,
TV.
the 30-second TV spots. They've done a little bit with the whole find the lair with the mountain and the water and all that other stuff. My kids watch a lot of kids networks. They watch Nickelodeon and they watch Disney and all that stuff, and those commercials have played pretty regularly through there. So don't at me about marketing, people. I don't want to hear it, because they're marketing the hell out of this and Captain Marvel both on these networks anyway. So yes, you're right. They're like abridged versions of what we got in that 1 minute teaser there.
Right. Cool. So trailer 2, good times. Definitely left me wanting more, but as well it should.
That's what a trailer should do.
And we're really close. We're in the home stretch, and I think that, they were, as we kind of mentioned earlier, we thought we were getting this new trailer in January. I think it was Zachary Levi that said, it's going to come out like beginning of next year. And so everybody was kind of expecting it, and then it just kept getting pushed off. And I think that there was a lot of very intentional strategy there. I think they were smartly, first of all, the old trailer played in front of everything that I saw during Christmas, including Aquaman, which was the biggest movie of Christmas. So people were seeing it then. And then I think they were waiting on Captain Marvel. First of all, they didn't want to hit the marketing overdrive until Captain Marvel's was wrapping up, because they didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. And at the same time, I think they wanted the latest and greatest Shazam trailer to be new when Captain Marvel hit, because Captain Marvel is the biggest is the first big movie of 2019. Let's say that, or the first biggest movie of 2019. Sure. We've had a couple that have been, moderate hits, but like Captain Marvel will be the first blockbuster of the year. And so they want to, A, not get lost in that noise, and B, be poised for everybody who's going to go see that movie to get excited about this movie too.
Makes sense to me.
So I get it, and they still got a good month to continue that. But I mean, I know I live in LA, so I am skewed, but there are Shazam posters plastered all over Los Angeles. You can't escape it. There's a really cool billboard that has little cutouts of Shazam and Freddy sitting on top of the billboard. I don't know if you've seen pictures of that, but yeah, it's everywhere. Shazam's everywhere in LA. I can't speak to the rest of the country, but certainly everywhere where I'm at. So I'm excited. I can't wait. 1 month away. Something to look forward to. And it'll be interesting to see if this is the final trailer.
I hope it is.
I know. So there you go. Anything else you want to add before we move forward?
No. I'm good.
Cool. All right, Shazam trailer 2. You guys have watched it. You've already seen it. And it'll be fun to discuss the film in a month's time. But now we're going to discuss whatever you guys want to talk about, because it is time again for the Wayne Manor Mailbox. It is time again for the Wayne Manor Mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right, now on the last episode, episode 200, it was long, it was epic, there was a lot of episode there, so we did not do the Wayne Manor Mailbox at that time, and I said we're going to save it for this episode. So a lot of these messages are about episode 200, but it's okay. We appreciate it. So here we go. Let's start. This one here comes from Grant Ingram. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, and the Koala Brother. Congratulations on episode 200. I've been listening since 100, and I want to thank you for all the amazing work you've done. It's been an awesome year. I can't wait to see what you do this year. I'd like to request an Under the Red Hood graphic novel review at some point, but honestly, whatever you do will be awesome. Thanks for a great year, Grant Ingram." Thank you, Grant. And yeah, I don't think I've ever actually read the Under the Red Hood graphic novel. I've only seen the movie, so
Same.
I'll take that recommendation.
I hear it's good. I mean, I don't have any opposition to it. It's just got to find the time and book and everything else.
Yeah, I don't think I actually even own it, but
I think it's just called Under the Hood, isn't it?
I think it is. Anyway, thank you. Next message here is from Lorenzo. It says, "Hey, Andy and Jamie. Lorenzo from south of Brazil, down under also." Yeah, I guess that counts as down under. I was thinking about a new actor for Batman, and I thought you guys might be doing a fan casting and think about who would be great for the role. Here are my thoughts. Going with a younger Batman, I thought of two people. First is Ben Barnes, the Billy Russo from Punisher, and Logan Delos from Westworld. He's 39 but looks younger. Tall, British, great actor. I believe he'd be able to get big enough for a noir detective Batman, but just not as big as Batfleck. It's my favorite. The only problem is I'm not sure how big he can get, and you have to get big to have a big Nightwing smaller than him. My second wish is Aaron Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass and Quicksilver. He's younger than Ben Barnes, he's 5'11", but he's a lot bigger than Barnes, and he's got the looks for a young billionaire. I think he'd look different enough from Quicksilver for it not to be a problem. I think he's too big for Nightwing or any other Bat family. I don't like Armie Hammer's Batman just because I think he's not a fan of the project, and all I see is him not caring for it. I also don't like Robert Pattinson, not for Twilight, just because I think he has a face that's too Tim Burton-esque for a good Batman. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Thank you for being a Bat friend for those who don't have one. Keep up the great job, Lorenzo Bertolucci. Lorenzo, thank you. I've heard both of these names thrown about from other fans. And Jamie, what do you think of Ben Barnes and Aaron Taylor Johnson?
I don't think I have a real strong opposition to either one, but I also don't have a great deal of excitement on either one of those prospects. No offense. I mean, everybody's got their own ideas of what they want it to be, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be interested to see what happened, but it's not something that I all of a sudden now after hearing it happen on my priority list or anything.
Cool. I really like Ben Barnes a lot. But yeah, I think he's pretty slim, but that doesn't necessarily have to be a deal breaker. So I'd be all for it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I would support. He's lower on my list. But I think he's good. I just haven't ever seen him be great. But then again, I like Armie Hammer. Robert Pattinson, I'd give him a shot. Again, not at the top of my list, but anyway.
I did happen to catch a tweet the other day that somebody suggested the idea that Pattinson as Riddler, and somehow that clicked with me. Like the Batman thing, I was just like, But when they said Riddler, I'm like, you know what? That might work.
I could see it, sure.
Anyway,
all right.
Just that happened to cross my mind as we were going through that.
Okay. Next message is from Julian Chan. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, and Crocodile Brendan. Had a possible thought for your 200th episode." Oh, okay, it's a little late. You probably already have ideas, but I thought since Matt Reeves' movie is gaining momentum, it might be fun for you guys to pitch your own Bat movie and cast it. It requires some homework, but it could be fun. That's all. Thanks for a great podcast. Cheers, Julian. P.S.
I already casted my own Bat movie, and Jimmy Stewart was Batman, Julian. You made the poster for it, for crying out loud.
Great. And he says, P.S. I know it's not Batman related, but the Umbrella Academy on Netflix is terrific. Julian, thank you for the message, and I appreciate the idea, even if we've already done 200. I've been hearing good things about Umbrella Academy, but I've not watched it.
Guy Milks is going on off the rails about how great that thing is, so suddenly I went from, I might get around to it one day, to maybe I should, get that in sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it because of the good things I have heard. All right, next message is from Ulysses George. It says, "Hey guys, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I've got a few questions. Since we're getting Supergirl and Batgirl, which actresses would you recommend? Mine would be Emma Watson as Supergirl and Bonnie Wright, who played Ginny Weasley, as Batgirl. I think it would be the best choice. I think you guys should do Batman Beyond. Yes, Jamie, I know you don't like it, but Batman Beyond is badass. Also, since we're getting a new Batman, do you guys prefer Armie Hammer or Robert Pattinson? What do you guys think the new Bat costume will be? I'm hoping the Lee Bermejo Batman Noel Damned costume. It would be perfect. Side note, Andy, you didn't like All-Star Batman. I actually like it, and I understand the writing was written like a 12-year-old, and the art is fantastic, but come on. Have you read Batman Strikes Again? The writing and especially the art are horrible. I get even read the first 10 pages. Anyway, thanks for the podcast that you guys provide. Have a great day. Have a great Batman day. Ulysses George. Ulysses, thank you. A lot in here. Okay, what did I say? Supergirl and Batgirl. I don't know. I know we've both cast Batgirl in the past, Jamie.
I'm still hooked on Saoirse Ronan for that, but if she's busy or they don't want to cast her, I have a sudden infatuation with this girl that's on I Am the Night. I think her name's like India Isley or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, she's got kind of a unique look to her. Like, I don't even know that she's ideal for the character, but I keep looking at her and going, she's got a look like she's fit, she's pretty, all that stuff, but she just has that look, and I think to myself, somebody needs to get her for a superhero movie somewhere. So that's why that idea was in my head, and I don't think she's quite right in the looks department for Supergirl, but a nice red dye job I think would hook her up for the Batgirl part. Supergirl, I have no idea. I really don't.
I think that I had Emma Watson as Batgirl. So we were on sort of the same wavelength, Ulysses. Ginny Weasley is Batgirl. I think you're just a Harry Potter fan. But I also liked the Jane Levy had been thrown about for Batgirl. I'd be down with that too. For Supergirl, yeah, I haven't given it a lot of thought. Stuff to think about it.
Jane Levy kind of fell off the face of the earth, didn't she?
Yeah, like I feel like she just showed up in something new recently, like a new show or something. Army Hammer, Robert Pattinson. I definitely choose Army Hammer. Yeah,
without question.
And I'm not a huge fan of the Lee Bermejo Batman costume. I'm sorry, Ulysses. It's just too busy and there's just too much going on. A lot of pieces and layers, and I don't know. I like mine a little more streamlined and succinct. So,
I still say blue and gray is the way to go next.
I agree.
It's time for retro to make the comeback.
I'm with you. Sounds good.
Actually, it's not even something that means a lot to me, but I think it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to see the smile on your face if it happens.
I know. Do it. All right, next message is from Josh Mathis. It says, I've really been enjoying the massive drop of newly edited comics on the DC Universe app. Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, Black Mirror, and Identity Crisis are stories that I had never gotten around to reading until they came onto the app, and I love them. In that spirit, I want to recommend a longtime favorite of mine, Sleeper. It's a fantastic miniseries by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips that I highly recommend. I encourage you to go in cold. Anytime those two have their name on a book, and it's an instant purchase for me. Also by Brubaker on the app is Gotham Central. It's everything that the Gotham show should have been. Take care, guys. Josh Mathis. Recommendation accepted. Sleeper, do you know this one, Jamie?
I don't know it, but I do like Ed Brubaker. I think his Captain America run is the stuff of legend, and it's incredible, and it's actually what made me the Captain America fan that I am. So I'm certainly open to it, and I have read the first 2 volumes of Gotham Central, and I thought that book was quite excellent. So yeah, I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar with it at all.
Sweet. All right, next message here is from Mark Jurasevic. It says, hey guys, thanks for the really enjoyable review of Doom Patrol. I agree that it's an excellent start to the series. It bears a striking resemblance to a new series on Netflix called Umbrella Academy. In fact, the series creator of this series cites Doom Patrol as an inspiration and actually wrote for it at one stage. Wondering about your thoughts as this series is getting reviews as great as Doom Patrol, and they're very comparable. On another note, the characters assembling in Swamp Thing sounds like it could be heading towards a Shadow Pact or a Justice League Dark. Stargirl is also shaping up to be a team-based series based on the JSA characters. I see a trend here. Maybe it's time we saw a live-action Justice League series on the network. I'd pre-order that on VHS. Take it easy, Mark. So thank you, Mark. I think Jamie and I both said we haven't watched Umbrella Academy, but yeah, it's getting some buzz, so I think we're both intrigued to watch it.
Yeah, I might have to get on that really quickly now.
For me, Doom Patrol is killing it. I freaking love it. I think that they're doing a great job. Yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, I do love that all these series are bringing in additional characters. They're not afraid to play in more of the DC universe, which I totally dig. So excited for Swamp Thing, obviously.
If you haven't watched episode 3 of Doom Patrol, like fast forward here, like 15 to 30 seconds, something like that. But 3, 2, 1. The fact that they're name dropping Justice League and they're asking Cyborg if he knows Batman and what he's like and all that other stuff, they're trying like hell to get a door kicked open to play with this stuff. I know it just feels like fun, Easter eggs and everything else, but you can't tell me that these showrunners and writers and everything else don't have this idea buried in the back of their heads right now.
Right. Yeah, no, episode 3 of Doom Patrol was so freaking good. I loved it. So it's awesome.
I dare say, and I've liked both of the episodes prior to, but I dare say this was easily the runaway favorite of the series so far.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, next message is from CJ Higgins. It says, hey, Bat fans, congrats on making it to episode 200. Fun fact, Batman Volume 1, number 200 in comics, released on March of 1968, so it's about to hit its 51st anniversary. I didn't know what else to say, but that I love the show, Andy and Jamie, and that koala who got up close and personal with the Aquaman suit. How even? Keep up the great work, and here's to 200 more Holy BatCasts. Your bat friend, CJ Higgins.
Cheers.
Cheers, CJ. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Next message is from Stuart Busire. It says, hey guys, it's Stuart from Guernsey. Happy 200th episode. Thank you all so much for the #1 podcast out there. I think that all the other listeners would agree that we're so proud of what you guys have accomplished. If I'm having a bad day, all I have to do is listen back to one of your older shows and it manages to cheer me up. And if a new episode has dropped, then it's a bonus. I've been a listener of the show for 4 years now, and I hope we'll all still be listening when we're old age pensioners. Here's to episode 300. Honestly, congratulations to Andy, Jamie, Brendan, and everyone else from Stuart. P.S. Happy birthday to Jamie. Hope you had a good one.
I did. Thank you.
Stuart, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for the message. Always great to hear from you. And we'll start planning for 300. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah. By then, I might actually be able to do what Julian suggested.
Which is what?
Fan casting for a Batman film.
Oh, okay. All right. Next message is from Horace McNichol. It says, hey, Holy BatCast. This is probably more of an RF for RM question, but it has ties to Batman. How would the first Men in Black movie had been if Clint Eastwood had played Agent K and Chris O'Donnell had played Agent J? Both were originally cast before Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Huh. Did you know that, Jamie?
I did not. But I'm not a Men in Black historian either. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds vaguely familiar to me. Like, I think that sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to.
I was going to say. I mean, I think they made the right choice, or the end product delivered better. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an Eastwood fan. I like the guy, but I think Tommy Lee Jones was perfect for that part. Perfect.
Yeah, like Tommy Lee Jones's deadpan in Men in Black is perfection, and he's just so good in it. And I think that he and Will Smith, the way they bounced off each other, that's why that movie works, you know.
Yeah. Smith was also great in that film. And I'm not a big Chris O'Donnell fan. I mean, whatever. I really only know him from Batman Forever. So I don't know that I've seen him in a lot since then. You know, if he would have got a second Batman movie, maybe I would have watched that and seen what became of it, but he didn't. So anyway, I like Will Smith better than him based on what I'm familiar with. So,
yeah, I just think that I can't imagine them having the same dynamic or chemistry. So I think that Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, things worked out the right way. Next message here is from Jack Fiorello. It says, hey, Andy and guest, I've got an idea for an episode, but not for the 200th episode. You should review the Simpsons episode Fruit Batman. In case you haven't heard of this episode, the plot basically goes like this. Mr. Burns decides to become a crime-fighting vigilante, but there are no crimes in Springfield, so Mr. Smithers pays people to commit them, and as they say in the plot description, hijinks ensue. I personally think Fruit Batman is one of the better episodes of later seasons, and is of course filled with Batman references. I hope you take up my suggestion. Thanks, Jack. # bring back Brendan. Just because you said that? No. And I do remember seeing Fruit Batman. I remember it being funny. Jamie, I'm assuming you haven't seen that one.
I have not. I have not watched The Simpsons with any real consistency in a good 4 or 5 years.
I've seen it. It was funny. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. If we're looking for something a little off the beaten path, I guess that's an option.
All right, then.
All right, next message is from Rob Orff. It says, Dear Andy, Jamie, Brendan, and Wesley. Wes getting a shout out. That's awesome. It says, congrats on your 200th episode. I began listening to the podcast in 2015 when I needed something to occupy my mind and time while a family member was in the hospital. I've been listening to your show every week since. On your 200th episode, I wanted to bring attention to how much your podcast has meant to so many of us. The past 5 years and 200 episodes have brought entertainment, laughs, and a sense of belonging to many. As we've heard in your listener emails, your show's provided moments of joy and escape from the inevitable sadness and challenges that life brings. Some of us turn to your show to help get through a long night shift at work. Others of us turn to your show to bring a smile to our face when we were going through a personal loss. Whatever each one of us was going through, we knew we could turn to your show each week and hear about a character that we love, Batman. Batman represents A symbol of strength and courage, he fights against superpowered adversaries and overwhelming odds without a single superpower of his own. He relies on his mind and undying determination to face the most daunting of challenges. As Batman said, I have one power. I never give up. Listening to your show has helped many of us remember that power and to find that determination in ourselves to help us overcome the challenges of life. I wanted you to know that what you have done with the podcast has meant so much to so many of us. You've given a great deal, and we are grateful. Thank you, Rob. Rob, that is one of the nicest messages I think we've ever received. So
that was very, very sweet. Yes.
I cannot thank you enough for sending that. That means the world to us, and yeah, certainly is appreciated. And if doing this show brings just a little bit of happiness to people's lives, then I think it is time well spent. All right. Next message is from Marcus Waldemarson. It says, thank you, Andy and Jamie, for the gem that is Holy BatCast. Little things can make all the difference in lighting up your week, and the happy feeling I get when I see that there's a new episode of my favorite podcast truly is one of those things for me. So thank you again, and congratulations on 200 episodes. Never stop batcasting. I, for one, think you guys are destined to do this forever. Best wishes, Marcus Waldemarson, your loyal Bat fan from Stockholm, Sweden. P.S. Also a big thank you to Brendan for his contribution to the show. As a tribute to Brendan, I put the greetings to him down under the actual message. Oh, because he put it as a P.S. It's down under. Got it. I got it. Marcus, thank you. It's great to hear from you, and yeah, very much appreciated. Again, we love doing this, and we love hearing from you guys that it's appreciated.
I'll drink to that.
All right, next one here is from Mark Bickford. It says, Dear Andy, Jamie, Brendan, kittens, cats, sacks, and wives. Congratulations on 200 episodes. I'd meant to send in my suggestion that you use the occasion to salute Andy's travels by having all of you with your wives and kids join in on a karaoke rendition of Africa by Toto, but I suppose it's too late now, alas. I'm glad you're covering Doom Patrol. Even though I'm not a huge Grant Morrison fan, I love the team, and I'm amazed that they're going with full-on surrealism for the show. And someone needs to win an award for writing the line, Rita needs to emote in order to blob. You talked about Negative Man last week, and my theory is this. Larry is essentially dead, but his life force is being handled by the negative entity, and that keeps his consciousness going. When the entity leaves, Larry's body essentially falls down dead until it returns. Fortunately, the entity appears to be benevolent, even heroic. When it flew off in the pilot while Larry was at the bar, it went to do something to an electrical transformer that was about to blow. Into episode 2, it wasn't going to allow Larry to leave town. I'm just amazed that Larry has had this going on since the 60s and only now trying to communicate with it. I do have a question for you. How did you manage to cover Mad Love without calling out Mark Hamill's Joker ending the dentist scene with, May the floss be with you? Oh well, I guess I'll have to explain the joke. It's not funny. Take care, congratulations again, and best wishes for hundreds more Holy BatCasts, Mark. And then Mark, he sent a follow-up. He said, hey, I meant to include this, but I forgot, so if you haven't recorded, please include this. Since this is episode 200, I felt I should tell you my most significant memory of the show. I was listening to your podcast while driving to work one morning when something made me pull over into a parking lot before getting on the turnpike. I popped the hood open and was relieved to discover that no cats had crawled up into the engine compartment overnight. It was just the cats podcast bombing your show that I was hearing. Fortunately, I knew that all the cats on the podcast have safe and happy homes, so I continued on to work without fear. Mark, thank you for the message. That is hilarious that you thought that my cats were real cats in your engine somehow. Yeah, Doom Patrol, good thoughts, good theories.
That's a very interesting take on Larry. I mean, he might be onto something there.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely we're learning more about Larry as we go. But yeah, very interesting. And then May the floss be with you. I mean, bad on us. You're right. I don't know how we managed to not call that out. Because
we're terrible fans. That's how.
I blame Jamie.
It's my fault. Totally.
All right. Next message here is from Kevin Luna. It says, sorry, Andy, this is more of a real fan's question. Are you guys going to do an episode on Game of Thrones since it's coming back in April for the last season? We never got to hear you or any of the guys' opinion on it. Maybe do a retrospective on past seasons or a review of season 8. Anyway, thanks for reading my question and congrats on making it past 200. I can't wait till you guys hit 1,000. P.S.
Holy Jesus.
I know. Let's tap the brakes, Kevin. It says, P.S. Sorry, Jamie, but the Raiders still suck. Oh. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, water's still wet, too. I mean, we don't know this? This isn't common knowledge?
As for Game of Thrones, I like that idea. I'm totally down with that because I was late to that party, but man, I got into it. And after watching every episode, I would message Jamie about it. He's like, where are you now? And I'm like, oh, this just happened. And oh my God. And blah, 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 blah. And then we talked about it.
He messaged me from the tattoo parlor chair when he got his Viper tattoo done across his back.
It's true. It's true. So I like the idea. Yeah, we'll see if we can make it happen. I'm all for it. Oh my God, I can't believe that. That's next month too. So we get Shazam and Game of Thrones next month. Oh, damn.
Don't we get Endgame at the end of next month too?
Oh yeah, that too.
I mean, that's just a little independent film, I know, but
I forgot about it. Yep, April's going to be good. All right, next message is from Matthew Malecki. It says, hey, Holy BatCast family. This is hands down the best Batman podcast ever. Congratulations on 200 episodes. It's an amazing achievement. Episode number 200 was perfect. It was great hearing from a bunch of different people that have been a part of the show over the years. I was smiling from ear to ear while listening. So, I'd like to personally thank Andy, Jamie, and Brendan for providing such a great show and community of fans. Holy BatCast is truly one of my favorite things about being a Batman fan. Thank you for all your hard work. I appreciate it very much. Here's to many more years of this show and the expansion of the Holy BatCast family. Congrats again, Matt Malecki. Thanks, Matt.
Cheers.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much for the nice message. Thank you for being part of the family. And I'm glad you liked episode 200. All right, next message here is from Tommy Sanders. It says, greetings. Would the DCEU still have happened if Green Lantern 2 with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had been made? Tommy, thanks for the message. What do you think, Jamie?
probably just not in the same form that we know it now. I mean, if it was successful enough to warrant its own sequel, I'm sure they would have started greenlighting other properties right along with it, because if I'm not mistaken, that was kind of the consensus with that, is that was what was meant to kick off the shared universe, if you will, at that point.
Yeah, I think we would have gotten the DCEU earlier. It would have looked different because it would have, I think, had a different aesthetic. Because if you look at the Green Lantern movie and compare it with like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, even Justice League, it doesn't quite fit. So I think you would have seen, I think, a connected universe in Justice League, just more in the style and aesthetic of that Green Lantern movie. But yeah, that they did want that to be the launching point for a shared universe, and when it didn't happen, plans changed and we got what we got.
I got to tell you, that was on Paramount Network or something last night, and I watched the first hour of it before I went to bed. That movie ain't all that bad. It really isn't.
I like it.
I don't love it.
No, I don't love it, but I like it.
Everybody knows what I think about Ryan Reynolds, but I mean, that movie is not the absolute front to back train wreck that everybody thinks it is. It's sure not perfect, don't get me wrong, but
I think it's perfect.
I think it's fine.
I think it's the best thing ever made by human hands.
Okay.
No, I do like that one. We need to look back on that one of these days. I think that would be fun. I like that movie. I don't love it. It certainly got its issues, but I still enjoy it for what it is. Yeah. I have a good time with it.
I kind of have it on equal footing with like Iron Man 2. I know the movie's not good, but it's watchable. It's entertaining.
Yeah, that's fair. I can dig it. All right, one last email, Jamie. This is from Chad Schaefer. It says, hey, I've got a question specifically for Andy, as it's related to the LA area. My wife and I are planning our honeymoon for the end of September and the beginning of October. One stop we were looking forward to is the TCL Chinese Theater. Given the timing of our trip, we thought we had was to see the Todd Phillips Joker film opening night at the historic theater, we thought it would be a cool experience. I was wondering if you had any advice for something like this, such as if to your knowledge, tickets would be sold out quickly for this type of film, and if we did obtain tickets, how far in advance would you recommend it? If for some reason we weren't able to get tickets, we have a backup plan of seeing It Chapter 2 instead, as that will have been out for a few weeks at the time. So in theory, it should be easier to get tickets for that. But I was curious what your thoughts are. I understand if you don't know for sure, but I would appreciate whatever input you could provide. Keep up the great work. Chad, first of all, congratulations on your engagement and your pending nuptials and your honeymoon in LA. I think you definitely should see a movie at the Chinese theater. Absolutely. Here's the thing, though. The Chinese theater, the way you're picturing it, is one theater. It's one IMAX screen. And it's amazing. The best theater in the country. I'm not just the one who says that. A lot of people say it. It's just amazing theater. But because it is one IMAX screen, you're at the mercy at whatever they're showing. There are quote-unquote Chinese theaters, which is like an additional 8 screens, but they're like in the little mall behind the actual Chinese theater. So yeah, you can go see whatever you want there, but it's like not nearly as magical as what you're picturing. If you want the magical Chinese theater experience, you got to go see whatever's playing on the IMAX. And who knows what it'll be when you're here. I don't know what the dates are. I don't know if it'll be Todd Phillips' Joker.
That doesn't strike me as an IMAX type of a film, but I could be wrong.
Right. But if it's been a quiet couple weeks, it still might be there on the IMAX. So that's the theater where I have gone to see every DC film, most recently with Aquaman, because I love that freaking theater. But if there's another big IMAX movie coming out around the same time as the Joker, and I don't know if there is, I'd have to look, there's a chance that other movie might be playing in the big theater. And if you're just going to go to the theaters 1 through 6 or 1 through 8 that's behind the major one, it's not really worth it. So check to see what's going to be in the IMAX, because that's the one you want to see. And then, yes, they sell tickets in advance. And, just keep an eye on it, and you'll want to buy them. You will want to buy them in advance. They're reserved seats. For Joker, yeah, I mean, like, you'll know when tickets go on sale. I think that's a big enough movie that they'll say, oh, Joker tickets on sale, such and such date. I don't think it's like Star Wars where you've got to be sitting there refreshing, waiting to do it. I think you'll be okay within the first few days of them going on sale. So I hope that's helpful.
So I got to ask, from the perspective of somebody who doesn't really know the Chinese theater all that well, how does that compare with, say, Navy Pier IMAX?
It's better. I mean, the screen's amazing, the projection's amazing, the sound's amazing, and then also it's in the historic Chinese theater, so like the theater itself is just amazing.
All right, then. That's where they premiered Star Wars the first time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's literally how I know that picture is, from all those photos from 1977 of people in line to go see it in that theater. That's what I literally know it from. That, and I'm told Black Batman hangs out in front of there.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yes, there's a lot of celebrities with air quotes that hang out in front of that theater.
Smoking Superman that looks like he's 168 years old. And
all of them. So it is definitely worth seeing a movie there. That's where I was going to take the koala when he was going to come to LA in November. No, not November. He was going to come. Yeah, he was going to come for November for Wonder Woman 1984, and then it got bumped from November. And so that ruined our plans, because I was going to take him to see Wonder Woman 1984 in the Chinese theater. And now I'm not even going to be in the country in November, so it doesn't matter. But yes, it is worth seeing a movie at that theater. You just got to cross your fingers that it's a movie you want to see.
Brandon, you can come to Indiana in November. Then you'll know what miserable damn weather's like.
Ooh, yeah, do that. Anyway, that's it for the emails. We caught up on emails, Jamie. Woo! All right. But don't get too excited, because we have a couple voicemails. So without further ado, here is a voicemail from Jay.
Hey guys, it's Jay Yaws. Just wanted to say congratulations on reaching 200 huge episodes. And congratulations on just being the best Batman podcast around, and my personal favorite podcast there is. Thanks, and here's to 200 more, and thanks for just being such awesome Batfans, guys.
Yaws, thank you so much. Thank you for that message. Always good to hear from you, man. And thank you for the kind words. And yeah, you're a member of the Bat family too. So we really appreciate hearing from you.
That Jay guy, he's a heck of a human being. He really is.
He's good people. And very knowledgeable, as we've stated before. He knows his shit.
He does.
All right.
He does.
Thanks, Jay. Always good to hear from you. All right. Next voicemail here is from, I think this is from Jason. This is our friend who never says his name, and I think it's Jason.
Hi, Andy, Jamie, and Brendan. I hope you guys had a great 200th episode and didn't go home washing your tights. My question is, with Batman doing the team-up movies lately with Scooby-Doo and the Ninja Turtles, I was wondering what hero or character would you like to see Batman team up with next? My answer would be probably either Wonder Woman or Flash in the animated movie, but just wondering what your guys' answer was. Anyways, have a great show. Bye.
Thank you so much. So, in the vein of Batman, Brave and the Bold, and Scooby-Doo, and now Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jamie, if there was another animated movie, I guess animated it sounds like, where Batman teams up with someone, who would you want it to be?
I would like to see Batman and Robin in the Laugh Olympics.
Ooh, what if it was Batman and Robin and Blue Falcon and Dynamite?
Boy, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. What if it was Batman and Robin having Christmas with Yogi Bear and Boo Boo?
I would also take that in a heartbeat.
What if it was Batman and Robin and Beavis and Butthead?
With morbid curiosity, I would watch that in a heartbeat.
I do love, I mean, we haven't talked about it on this. Okay, we talked about Batman, Brave and the Bold, and Scooby-Doo, which still so freaking good. Like one of my favorites. But yeah, the fact that we're getting the animated Batman and Ninja Turtles, I could not be happier. And so yeah, more mashups, I'm all for it. And yeah, there's very few that I wouldn't be on board for. But I like the Laugh Olympics. The problem is they would win because Batman.
Well, that just goes without saying, but
it's obvious. Yeah. I would like Batman the Brave and the Bold Saves Christmas, where he like actually goes to the North Pole and teams up with Santa Claus for some reason.
You know that scene in Harlem Nights where Della Reese's character is explaining to them about sunshine, and Red Fox just has that moment where he smiles and looks up into the air? That's me reacting to that.
I have never seen Harlem Nights, but okay.
You should remedy that. It's quite good.
All right. Cool. All right. One last voicemail. This is from Adam Lance Hendrickson. Bishop. All right. Here we go.
Hey, Holy BatCasters. This is Adam Lance Hendrickson, a.k.a. Bishop. I wanted to wish Andy and Jamie congratulations on your 200th or 201st episode. Not sure where this message will land. Both of those numbers are equally impressive. Thanks for keeping us up to date with all the DC goodness, and I can't wait to share in all the geekery in 2019 and beyond. Thanks again, guys.
Bishop! Thanks, Bishop.
Thank you. Cheers.
Keep doing that knife trick, my friend. And yes, thank you for the awesome message. We are happy to bring geekery to you on a weekly basis. And yeah, it was really nice of you to send us that message. Always good to hear from you. 201, moving right along. Moving right along, go-ga-jung, go-ga-jung. Footloose and fancy free. Hey, that's who Batman and Robin could team up with. Kermit and Fozzie. The Muppets. Batman meets the Muppets.
In my best John Panette voice, you ain't scaring me, pal.
All right. That is it for the emails and the voicemails. If you've got an email for us, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. If you got a voicemail, you can leave that at 323-366-9246. But that is where we're going to close the Wayne Manor Mailbox, and we're going to start wrapping up Holy BatCast number 201. So thank you guys, as always, for joining us. We've got some fun things looking ahead. I'm glad you guys like number 200. Hopefully you like 201. But a certain landmark comic book movie is celebrating 10 years this month. So I'm putting it out there, Jamie. I'm putting it out in the universe that the folks at home might want to brush up on a certain comic book movie to prepare for, if not the next episode, one of the next episodes. I don't want I want to leave myself some wiggle room because plans change. But sometime over the next month, we want to celebrate 10 years of a very influential comic book film.
But who watches that movie?
Who watches, indeed. So
I think we're just going to be coy and just leave it right there.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have fun things ahead. Thanks for joining us, and please do continue joining us as we move forward. Jamie, always a pleasure. Thanks for talking a little bit of Shazam this evening.
It was a good time, especially since, we do this in my time zone. It's delightful. I actually have a little bit of energy left when we're done. It's amazing.
Oh, good.
We should do this all the time.
Well, I'll be here pretty often, so there's that.
Excellent.
Got that going for us. If the folks at home want to keep up with you, where can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter at BatRaider3960, kind of in limited capacity at the moment. I'll get back on there soon, more frequently. Just busy. Life is busy. On Facebook, Real Fans groups, all that stuff. Podcasts, I'm floating around everywhere here. Real Fans, even though I missed the episode of Real Fans, I really wanted to be on, but I had a family crisis that needed to be attended to. I'm all over the place with that stuff. And I do just want to throw this out there real quick. This is completely unsolicited. I just want to say it. I happened to notice in my podcast feed this morning that our pals across the town over there at Suicide Squadcast are sitting at 199. So, folks, the 200 celebration gets to continue next week. Make sure everybody gives a shout out to Tim and Scott over at Suicide Squadcast because they're hitting 200 right behind us.
Oh, congrats. Happy 200 Suicide Squadcast. And they're like nipping at our heels.
I know. You know why? Because they're consistent. And we're just like, we'll do it when we can.
We take a week off. They're going to lap us. And
they're so regimented. They're like in a hospital bed dying of the measles or something. They're like, we have to record an episode. It has to be done.
I respect that. I respect punctuality.
Yeah, we're just not that regimented. It's cool. You guys do you, we'll do us.
Another podcast that you heard some voices on the episode 200 from Hey Do You Remember? They just hit 150. They did Raiders of the Lost Ark for episode 150. So thank you, Chris and Carlos, for contributing into 200. They gave us a little shout out on their 150, so I'm paying them back. Shout out back at you. Hey, do you remember? And Donna, we love you too. The only reason that you weren't on 200 is because, unlike Chris and Carlos, you don't turn everything into Batman. So, so it's like it's a sickness that we all share, that we make every single conversation about Batman. But anyway,
fun fact: I do remember Raiders of the Lost Ark. I remember getting in the car in the driveway, getting ready to drive over to the Gateway Theater on Goshen Road, which is long since defunct. And I was like, "What are we going to see, Dad?" And he's like, "We're going to go see of the Lost Ark." And I'm like, "What? What did you say? What did you say?" And he said it again, and I swear to God, I thought he said Vader's of the Lost Ark. I'm like, "There's a new Star Wars movie!" Ah! And we got there, and it was just some guy running from rocks, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But I did wind up loving the movie, and still love it to this day. So anyway, that's my fun movie flashback for the day.
Nice. Cool. So anyway, congrats to them. Congrats to Suicide Squadcast and Hey Do You Remember podcast, brothers and sisters in arms. We love you guys. Follow Jamie, follow me, more importantly, follow the show. Thank you guys, as always, for downloading the show and for subscribing to the show. Please rate and review us on iTunes, and as Michael Keaton's Batman says, I want you to tell all your friends about me. Visit holybatcast.com. Follow the show on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Holy BatCast. You will find us. So on behalf of Jamie, I've been Andy, and we'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Holy BatCast is brought to you by real fans for real movies. Remember, the thoughts and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone, and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you electrocuted a bus and almost killed these people.
And then I caught it!
You can leave tall buildings in a single bound.